Hello everyone, I'm Tony Ndoro, and Castrol asked me to talk to you about workshop and lift safety. Working safe is working smart because you protect yourself, your colleagues, and the equipment in the workshop. Being safe in everything you do is ultimately in your own interests and the interests of your family. Now, before we move into the workshop, there are a few basic safety rules which may appear to be obvious, but you'd be surprised how many times these basic rules are broken, often with tragic consequences. Now, before you start work, make sure you're wearing your safety clothing. That's your overalls, your gloves, and safety boots. Of course, you should never ever work if you've been drinking alcohol or have taken any drugs. You should even check with your doctor if you can work if you are on medicine. The workshop is a strictly no smoking area. You must smoke only in designated smoking areas. And above all, be extremely cautious and don't allow a naked flame near flammable materials like oil and petrol. Right? Let's go inside the workshop. Never work with any equipment in the workshop unless you are 100% sure how to operate it. And if it looks as if it's damaged, ask your supervisor to check it first. Okay, we're going to focus on the lifts inside this workshop. Before you even start work, there are a couple of things you should do each day before you hoist any vehicle. Walk around the lift and check that the floor is clean and clear of liquids such as oil, and that there is no equipment in the way. If anything looks wrong, be safe and report it before you use the lift. Make sure the arms are in the correct position, folded back, and that the lift pads are in good condition. Probably the most important thing in lifting a vehicle is the correct positioning of the arms. Now, here's Myburg Haupt, a director from Automotive Equipment International and a registered lifting machinery inspector. Now, he's going to show us how to position the arms. Hello, Myburg.
Hello, Tony. Hello, everyone. Two-post vehicle lifts come in two configurations, symmetrical and asymmetrical. To determine the center of gravity of a load on this asymmetrical lift, swing the rear arms to 90 degrees with the carriage and the front arms to 90 degrees with the rear arms. Now draw an imaginary line from the front left pad to the right rear and front right to the left rear. Where these imaginary lines cross would be the load's ideal center of gravity. This is the ideal arm position to lift the vehicle. On a symmetrical lift, the center is usually midway between the posts.
Now, the vehicle can be driven in and pushed into its final place. Swing the arms into place to the correct jacking points on the vehicle. If necessary, adjust the adapters to clear the vehicle sill. Okay, now we're ready to lift the vehicle. First, we lift it just a couple of inches off the floor. Then we shake it to ensure that it is stable on the arms. And we're ready to go all the way up. Bring it down until the safety catch ratchet has engaged. And the vehicle is now ready to work on.
The center of gravity can change by various factors, such as excess weight on the back of a light commercial vehicle, removing an engine or gearbox or front wheels, using a long pipe or lever to loosen bolts. This all could transfer weight and therefore change the center of gravity. Use the correct tools. For instance, an engine brace or transmission jack when doing a clutch overhaul, removing a gearbox, etc. A long trestle should be used when removing front wheels or if a vehicle has weight in the back. Use pad extensions to move excess weight forward or backward.
So folks, that's the correct way. Let's all make sure we do it right, or we're going to have problems like these. Okay, you've finished working on the vehicle. Now you need to lower it. But before you do, make sure that all equipment like oil drainage tanks, supports, tools, etc. have been removed from under the vehicle. Then lower away. Pull back the arms and the vehicle can be carefully driven off. Remember that operating the hoist is a one-man job. Never allow anybody else to help you. That's the way accidents happen. This is a two-post lift. Basically, the same rules apply when using a four-post lift, except that the vehicle is hoisted on a platform and there are no arms to position. In a 4-post lift, you just have to ensure that the vehicle cannot roll off the platform. Make sure the handbrake is on and check that the stoppers at the front and rear of the lift are up.
All lifts should have operating and safety instructions decals. These are here as a daily reminder to work safely. If these steps and procedures are followed, accidents will be minimal. There should also be a service notice stating when last the lift was serviced or when the next service is due.
At the end of the day, leave your lift area in a clean and tidy state, ready for the next morning.
There are some general workshop rules to ensure your safety. I'm sure that you're well aware of these, but they are worth repeating. We will also have a look at what can go wrong if they are not followed. Firstly, bulk oil and waste oil tanks must be located in a bonded area, which is at least 110% the size of the tanks and must be sealed with epoxy. No drainage valve, electricity or compressors are permitted in this area. Suction pipes are not permitted with bottom entries into the tanks. Filler and suction pipes must be clearly marked old oil. Under no circumstances must used oil be pumped directly into the tanks. Use filler lines. A common mistake is not replacing the tank lid. Oil tank pumps must be secured firmly to the wall. A weekly inspection must focus on the filter, regulator and lubricator. Check pressure relief and air solenoid valves, the pressure relief return pipe, the Y strainer, that the connection hose is firmly secured with a bung adapter and the suction pipe. All piping for new and waste oil must be secured firmly onto the walls of the workshop or when loose, safely in cable racks. A daily inspection of piping must check for leaks, cracks and corrosion as well as connector joints. Hose reels must be securely fixed to the wall and must have a connection and solenoid valve, drip tray and control handle. Drip trays must be emptied regularly to avoid spills and the control handle must have a spout and non-drip nozzle. Waste oil drainers are a major hazard, especially when they are left under lifts, causing damage or even falls from the lift. They should be cleaned each day and must be free from tools, washers, cigarette butts and other debris which may clog the filters or break the waste oil pumps. Drainers must have cam locks, drip and spares trays and should have no visible leaks. Truck and pit drainers must have wheels and no leaks. They are not trolleys for transporting such items as gearboxes, engines and batteries. They are also not a scooter. Do not overfill as this leads to spillage. They should be cleaned daily and once again must be free of debris. They are not a convenient workbench or a dustbin. Waste oil pumps should not be used to empty drainers of debris. The Y strainer must not be removed as it protects the pump. Switch off the pump when the drainer is empty. If the light and sound alarm goes off, stop pumping as this means the tank is full and further pumping will lead to spillage. Keep the waste pump area clean and clean up any spills. Return the suction hose to the drip tray to avoid spillage. Compressors must have adequate ventilation to avoid burnout or creating condensation which contaminates oil in the oil tanks. There should be no air leaks and they must be secure to the floor. If you do not switch off the compressor when you have used it, this can lead to oil spills in the workshop, burnout and wasted electricity. You must always drain water each day through the drain valve. Compressor rooms are not storage areas. Remember that lifts are not a jack. Some unsafe practices include bad positioning of the arms, using only 3 of the 4 arms, hoisting a bucky with a load upsetting the center of gravity, and not using the safety bypass locks. This picture shows how a vehicle and even a dealership can burn out because safety rules were not followed. Be cautious of overhead extensions bending the vehicle roof. Do not rub off the next service date when cleaning the lift. The hoist service history must be recorded in the lift register box. Do not use the wrong items for extending the lift pads, such as bricks, bits of scrap metal or bits of scrap timber. Obviously, never ever reverse vehicles onto the lifts as this will change the center of gravity and lead to major problems.
Remember, please, safety is your responsibility as much as your employer's. Work smart, work safe, and all will be well. That's it from us. Cheers from the Castrol team.